This is Marvel's Elf with a Gun that came out in 1976 and previews in several different books. Avengers 25, where it first showed up, a trailer park in California where a lovely couple, Tom Pritchard and his wife Linda, and a knock interrupts their evening. Tom answers the door and looks a little surprised to have somebody calling and then wondering who. And the little elf stands there and then tells her who it is. And he tells her it's an elf with a gun. And it's speculated the elf may have also shot Tom's wife. Defenders 31 is the next one in Vegas. It's an older couple of Charles Lester and his wife hail a cab. They go down the road and the cab suddenly drives into an alleyway where Charles asks him what's going on. They find out the cabbie's a dump, and out pops an elf, and it's the elf with the gun, and he shoots Charles, and they conclude maybe it's Defenders 38. Tour guides Stu and Sally take a ride down the Grand Canyon. They run into a Native American. They think is really neat at first because he's a Native American, talks very spiritually, and Stu thinks he's having a mystical experience because of the garb of the Native. But it's the spring and dummy thing again, and it's the elf with the gun, and it shoots Stu and probably Sal. Next issue, Defenders 40. The Hulk jumps away from the scene where he dispersed some protesters. One protester went to a nearby restroom where she's surprised that a man's voice is in the restroom. Then she realizes it's not a man, it's an elf with the gun, and he shoots. Defenders 46. This is the last one. A boy, Greg, delivers a newspaper to Kyle Richmond's home, where Kyle never picks up. He walks over to the next yard without crossing into the street. And then there's scenes of the elf beginning to follow him. And the elf pulls the gun to strike him, but the elf was standing in the road and was hit by a passing truck. I like the line where it says he obviously never listened to a concerned father's sage advice. That concludes the elf with a gun. There was later stuff happened after the 70s with it, but I wasn't reading comics at that time, so I didn't try to put that in here. And that's all. This is the listing of how he appeared in the 5 issues, 5 appearances. This is one of the nicer quotes I found about it online, that it was a Gerber's existentialist view on life where everything's going fine and suddenly there's an elf with a gun and it's all over.